Over the last 7 years, I made over $2.5 million trading options. But what if I told you I could have skipped years of losses, stress, and blown accounts if I just understood a few key principles? So in this video, I'm handing you those exact principles that I learned from 7 years of experience, so you don't waste the time, money, and mental energy that I did, and become profitable in half the time it took me. Let's get right into it. So it all starts out with your morning routine. You have to have a morning routine that sets you up for profitability for the day. A lot of people are waking up at 9:30 and expecting to be profitable. You cannot wake up right as the market's opening and expecting to become profitable. You have no plan, you have no levels, you don't even know what the news is happening for today. So you cannot do that. You also don't need to be on the other side of that, where you need to take ice baths or do red light therapy or go for a walk or read a book right before or meditate or do any of this stuff. I wake up an hour before market open, and that's a lot, right? I could wake up 30 minutes before the market open and be fine. The first thing that I do is I look at the economic calendar. I want to see all of the news that is happening for that day. Now, the reason being is because news will impact the stock market. And if I'm in a trade and news happens, it could kill my contracts. The thing could absolutely go crazy in one direction or the other. So it's best to avoid those times. That's why I look at the economic calendar and mark out the times that it's going to have high impact news, like 10 o'clock, 10:30, 9:45, etc. Now, the next thing is you need a trade plan. If you have no blueprint to build a house, how are you going to build a house? You're going to build it and it's going to just knock over with a little bit of rain. You guys need the blueprint to profitability. You guys need the trade plan for the day. How and what is a trade plan? The first thing is the trade plan, which includes the economic calendar data. We also need to include the tickers that we're looking at for the day. It could be Tesla, Nvidia, QQQ, SPY. Those are my main four. Now, the next step is where exactly are we going to take those tickers at? It's going to be key levels. So I'm going to find 1 hour key levels on every single ticker that is in my trade plan, so I know exactly where I'm focusing my attention for the day, and I'm making sure that I know exactly where I'm going to enter at. That's all going to be in the trade plan. So for example, Tesla 640 downside, I'm looking to take puts. That's part of my trade plan. So I'm ready and prepared for the day. Also, if there's any earnings that happened overnight or in the morning that has moved one of these tickers going crazy, I might also be interested in that to capitalize on that move. But the next thing is what most traders get stuck on and is stopping them from becoming a profitable trader. And it's that most people aren't detached from the outcome. What do I mean by that? Listen, I have a community, and some of the stuff that I have seen allows me to help you guys a lot. For example, when I say detach from the outcome, when I see a lot of people join and they're like, oh, I'm in this huge drawdown, or I need to make X amount, or I'm down 3,000 for the month, I just need to make it back. So how do I make this back? You're thinking too much about the outcome and money and not necessarily about trading. The market does not care how much you're down, how much you need to make, anything about money, right? It has no idea how much money you have, and it doesn't care to take it all. You need to stop obsessing. People are so obsessed with making money that they forget about what trading actually is. Because if you build the foundation properly, the money will follow. You guys need to stop thinking about the money. The money is a afterthought. Money has nothing to do with how you trade and your performance. We're thinking about the risk to reward. We're thinking about the entries, the exits, and just overall performance, which has nothing to do with money. Money is just what you get. It's the reward for being a good trader. But how do we become a good trader? We don't think about the money. Money equals emotions. Never forget that equation. If we get rid of the money, we get rid of the emotions. So stop thinking about the money. Where do you guys think hope comes from? Ego, FOMO, impatience. It all comes from thinking about the money. You guys don't want to take a loss on your stop loss because you guys don't want to lose money. That's ego. You guys hold it past your stop loss in hope that it turns around. Why? Because you don't want to lose money and you want to make money. You guys get FOMO. Well, if there was no money involved, you wouldn't get FOMO because you didn't, who cares you missed a trade. But a lot of people get FOMO because they missed the potential to make money, which is a terrible mindset. Impatience. You guys want to make money now, so you guys start forcing trades, you guys start getting these random trades, and all the root problems are from money, because money equals emotions. Every problem that you have had is because of money. Just think about it. And this kills traders. We have to rewire our brain to think about what trading actually is, and we need to stop thinking about the money, and you'll start to become profitable, and watch all of the problems that you're facing right now will go away. It's all about having conviction and not confidence, because confidence is emotional And conviction is all a procedure. But how do you actually build that conviction so that your mind just instantly clicks when an A plus setup is happening? You want to build conviction with reps. When I first got started, I couldn't tell the difference between an A plus setup and a F setup, right? There was no difference. I was like, this is just charts, this is just candles on my screen. There's just a line there. Like, I can't tell the difference. Now, I could tell what an A plus setup is within literally a couple seconds just because I've seen it multiple times. And now I just get a click, right? I just get a feeling and I just trust the process so much because I've seen it over and over and over again. I see the same exact setup every single day. You guys need to be replaying A plus setups every day, right? Just watch what an A plus setup is so your mind just can tell the difference between an A plus setup and an F setup. When you guys see the A plus setup happening real time, you guys know exactly when to strike because you guys have seen this so often. Conviction is from preparation. You need to have conviction on the trades. You're not supposed to know the outcome, right? Nobody knows 100% that this trade is going to go. It's all based off probabilities. If I get in a trade, I know this is a very high probability setup, but you could have a 99% chance of dying and still live because of that 1%. Vice versa. You could have a 99% chance of living and you could still die because there's a 1% chance, right? So that's why no one has a 100% win rate. We're pretty close. But all we do is trust the process. We trust our plan. We trust our conviction. Our conviction is our plan. Our conviction is the step-by-step process in order to get the trade, the A plus setup, the entry, the exits, all of that stuff. And one thing that helped me detach from the outcome is understanding that trading is just following a set of rules and money is just something you could add to trading so you could actually get a reward out of it. Money has nothing to do with success, right? Emotions equals money. When you paper trade, you'll probably be profitable because there's no money involved. We're reacting based off logic. Now, the biggest account killer is most people don't even know what's hurting their progress. You can't fix what you don't know. And this is where it comes to journaling. You guys have to be journaling your trades. In order to fix a problem, you have to understand where it came from. This is how we journal our trades. Now, I'm not talking about hopping on TradeZilla, syncing it, and be like, all right, what's my TradeZilla score for today? No. You guys have to actually be taking notes. Did you get a good entry? Did you get a good exit? What could you have improved on? What was the problem here? What's the pattern of your emotions when you got into the trade? Don't be like, oh, I shouldn't have taken that trade, or that sucks, I got a terrible exit. How does that help you? That's called emotional journaling. You guys need to be like, all right, on my entry, I started getting emotional. On my entry, I started getting emotional. You'll start to see a pattern because if 3 out of 5 trades for the week, you keep getting emotional on your entry, we need to figure out a plan to fix that. But at least we have a problem that we're able to fix. You cannot be like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have taken that trade. Why shouldn't you have taken that trade? What led you to make that decision to not take the trade? And why did you take it if you think you shouldn't have taken it in the first place? Because probably your emotions aren't in check. Why is your emotions not in check? Well, maybe because you're risking way too much money or you don't have a solid plan. Okay, if you're risking too much money, let's size down. If you don't have a solid plan, let's make one. That's the kind of stuff that you guys need to be doing. You guys need to have the feedback and you guys have to have solutions to your problems. A lot of you guys don't even have actions, right? You guys don't take nothing. You guys don't even journal. When I ask for your journal, not gonna lie, bro, I haven't journaled in like 2 weeks. Okay, do you want to become a profitable trader or not? Why are you in my DMs if you didn't even journal? Get the journaling. You know what the problem is. A lot of you guys have this problem where you guys know what you're doing wrong. You guys just don't feel like fixing it, right? It's too hard to fix it. Did you journal? No? There we go. I don't feel like journaling. Okay, well, feeling profitable then. You guys need to be journaling and just collecting data, getting the feedback. Like, why do you think I'm a profitable trader? You guys think that I was just trading for an hour a day and I just called it after that? No, I was watching the chart. I was obsessed over the process. Nowadays, I'm not on the chart as much. Why? Because I'm on chapter 30. Why you guys are still in chapter 2, 3, 4? You guys should be journaling. You guys should have seen what I was doing back in the day. I probably have videos on this channel of what I was doing back in the day. I was locked in and I'm still locked in. And if I'm doing more than you nowadays, we have a problem. And listen, I've worked with hundreds of people. Not only am I talking from my experience, but I'm also talking from taking these students from a bad, unprofitable place and turn them profitable. I know that not only what worked for me, but what worked for other people. So what I'm saying in this video worked for a lot of people that I've helped. When it comes to a lot of people, they sell way too early. Well, guess what? Here's a quick fix. If you're selling too early on your profits, I don't care if your win rate dips a little bit. Do not sell until your profits hits 10 to 15%. That simple advice, the simple advice where I'm like, all right, yo, like I see that every single time the trade you sell at 7%, every single, like 90% of the time it goes to 15, 20, 25%. So let's do this. Let's not sell until we hit 10 or 15%. And they're like, all right, like, you know, what happens if my win rate drops? I don't care. Let's see what happens. And guess what? Their profitability chart went from break even to absolutely flying over a simple little fix. And that's exactly what I do for everyone that joins my mentorship. That's why it's uncomparable. Nobody's doing it like how we're doing it. Nobody dissects the market and performance and data tracks everything like I do, which is why I'm making this video in the first place, right? This is how I'm able to have the ability to make this video in the first place. And I know how to turn someone into a profitable trader. If you guys want to apply towards my mentorship, the link is in the description below. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.